Okay, so I finally get to bring you an article that is based on something truly magnificent and awe-inspiring. Now, this article appears on PV Pulse and was published in April this year. And it states Bolivia set to pass historic law of Mother Earth, which will grant nature equal rights to humans. Now, wouldn't that be wonderful if we saw that all around our planet? With the cooperation of politicians and grassroots organisations, Bolivia is set to pass a law of Mother Earth which will grant nature the same rights and protections as humans. The piece of legislation called a Ley de Derechos de la Madre Tierra, and I probably said that completely wrong, is intended to encourage a radical shift in conservation attitudes and actions, to enforce new control measures on industry and to reduce environmental destruction. The law redefines natural resources as blessings and confers the same rights to nature as to human beings, including the right to life and to exist, the right to continue vital cycles and processes free from human alteration, the right to pure water and clean air, the right to balance, the right not to be polluted, and the right to not have cellular structure modified or genetically altered. Perhaps the most controversial point is the right not to be affected by mega infrastructure and development projects that affect the balance of ecosystems and the local inhabitant communities. In late 2005, Bolivia elected its first indigenous president, Evo Morales. Morales is an outspoken champion for the environmental protection, petitioning for substantive change within his country and at the United Nations. Bolivia, one of South America's poorest countries, has long had to contend with the consequences of destructive industrial practices and climate change. But despite the best efforts of Morales and members of his administration, their concerns have largely been ignored by the UN. Surprise, surprise. Last year in 2010, Bolivian Foreign Minister David Choquenhunuca expressed his distress about the inadequacy of the greenhouse gas reduction commitments made by developed countries in the Copenhagen Accord. His remarks were punctuated by the claim that some experts forecasted a temperature increase as high as 4 degrees above pre-industrial levels. The situation is serious, Choquenhunuca asserted. An increase of temperature of more than 1 degree above pre-industrial levels would result in the disappearance of our glaciers in the Andes and the flooding of various islands and coastal zones. Now, we all know that it's not really anything to do with human activity as to why our climate is changing. So we can just understand that this article perhaps sees that a bit differently, but it does not in any way take away from this magnificent law that they are trying to pass. In 2009, directly following the resolution of the General Assembly to designate April 22nd as International Mother Earth Day, Morales addressed the press stating, "If we want to safeguard mankind, then we need to safeguard the planet. That is the next major task of the United Nations." A change to Bolivia's constitution in the same year resulted in an overhaul of the legal system, a shift from which this new law has sprung. The law of Mother Earth has as its foundation several of the tenets of indigenous belief, including that humans are equal to all other entities. Wow. I'll read that again. Including that humans are equal to all other entities. So for anybody out there that somehow thinks that they are above the other creatures that we share this planet with, you need to understand that you are equal to every living thing on our planet. We are all here as one family and one united organism on this planet, and we need each other to make this planet a healthy and sustainable planet to live on, in which everybody enjoys freedom and a clean environment, including the animals. We Indigenous people can contribute to solving the energy, climate, food and financial crisis with our values. The legislation will give the government new legal powers to monitor and control industry in the country. I've missed a part and I'll just go back. Our grandparents taught us that we belong to a big family of plants and animals. We believe that everything in the planet forms part of a big family. Now, this is also what the Native American Indians believe, that it is all one. We are all part of a family, and I too believe that very, very strongly. Existing laws are not strong enough, said Andarico Pinto, leader of the 3.5-metre strong Confederación. I'm not even going to try and say that. That is way too out of my comfort zone. Anyway, they're a group that helped draft the law. It will make industry more transparent. It will allow people to regulate industry at national, regional, and local levels. Bolivia will be establishing a ministry of Mother Earth. Oh man, I just love this country. But beyond that, there are a few details about how the legislation will be implemented. What is clear is that Bolivia will have to balance these environmental imperatives against industries like mining that contribute to the country's GDP. Bolivia's successful failures with implementation may well inform the policies of countries around the world. It's going to have huge resonance around the world, said Canadian activist Maud Barlow. It's going to start first with the southern countries trying to protect their land and their people from exploitation. But I think it will be grabbed onto by communities in our countries, for example, fighting the Tarzans in Alberta. Ecuador has enshrined similar aims in its constitution, and it is among the countries that have already shown support for the Bolivian initiative. Others include Nicaragua, Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Antigua and Barbuda. Sorry if I've mispronounced any of those. National opposition to the law is not anticipated, as Morales' party, the movement towards socialism, holds a majority in both houses of parliament. On April 20, 2 days before this year's International Mother Earth Day, Morales will table a draft treaty with the UN, kicking off a debate with the international community. So that's just absolutely fantastic. And I'm really, really happy to be able to bring you this article. Now, I don't have any updates. I mean, this was in April of this year. So this law, I don't know what has happened. Has it gone through? Has it not? If anyone has any further information that they can send me, either comment below or personal message me with some links and information, I would love to do a follow-up on this marvelous and just fantastic story. All right, guys. Well, that's it from me. Peace out.